Hi, I'm Nelson, and this is the Sir Nelson English School. In this school, we help you to pass the IELTS test. In this test, they test your reading, writing, speaking, and listening skills. In this particular video, we are going to focus on part 1 of the speaking test. The IELTS speaking test is divided into 3 parts. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. There are many questions that can be asked in the IELTS Part 1. The best way, because you cannot finish all the questions, the best way is to group the questions. There are questions which we call the description questions. What are these questions? For example, tell me about the house, flat you live in. Describe your hometown. Tell me about your job. Tell me about your family. Tell me about your city. These are called description questions. They require you to describe someone or something. We also have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. These questions require you to describe. How do we answer these questions? We need description structures. When responding to description questions, you need to begin with a conversation filler. Conversation fillers are very important if you wish to speak like a native. These words are what we call the conversation fillers. Remember, when you are using conversation fillers, it is better to use at least 2. Conversation fillers make you sound like a native, but they also help you to think about the answer and organize the answer before you give it. Because in the real test, you don't know the question they are going to ask. You have to give yourself time to organize your answer. So when you use these conversation fillers, they will be very helpful. Exercise 1. Describe your hometown. We are going to use the question, describe your hometown. Choose 2 conversation fillers and write them. We are going to develop the answer together. After the conversation filler, you put the if structure. If I had to describe, tell me about your job. If I had to describe my job, if I had to describe my hometown, this if structure gives you a complex sentence. Complex sentences are very good in the IELTS test. So after the conversation filler, you put the if structure. If I had to describe, depending on the question, we can then add the first pointing phrase next to the signal to signal to the listener that the first point is coming. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are what you call pointing phrases. We choose one from here and we add it to our if structure. The first point, the first thing, the point I would like to begin, you are signaling to the listener that I'm going to give you the first point. Exercise 2. Describe your hometown. Choose 2 conversation fillers and then add 1 pointing phrase. Think about one important point you can add, you can describe about your hometown. It could be location, rural, urban, or suburban. It could be size, appearance, or the building, etc. Get one about your hometown and make a sentence. Possible topics include infrastructure, roads, buildings, economy, politics, religion, people, food, weather, and education. You can use any of these to create a topic sentence about your country. For example, we have the topic sentence and the supporting sentences. Remember, in the IELTS speaking test or even writing, the examiner is listening attentively to your topic sentence and how you support it. So give a topic sentence with a keyword that you can support. For example, you could say, the city is modern. The city is modern. What is modern? If something is modern, you can use any of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is an indicator of modernity. So you can give specific examples if you have any of these in your country. Another example, you can say the city. If you are from the city, you can't be from the rural area. The city is developing. The key word is developing, so you have to put examples, supporting sentences. Developing cities or countries have those challenges. So we expect to hear something like that. You could say the weather. If you decide to talk about the weather, we use an adjective to describe the weather. The weather is pleasant. Pleasant weather, pleasant means glorious or fine. We expect to hear examples. Talk about the sky, the sunshine in your country. All these are supporting the word pleasant. The city is large. If a city is large, how do you support large? You can use any of these, and then you give specific examples in your country. My friend is supportive. What's the meaning of supportive? You can use any and you give supporting sentences. The examiner is looking out for the topic sentence and how you support. You can talk about the weather, and you can use these phrases to point out something that is special in your country. Exercise, describe your hometown. Choose 2 conversation fillers, add 1 pointing phrase, choose 1 point about your own, and add details. Now, after choosing one, you go to another one. When you're talking about your hometown, there are many things to talk about. You have finished one, we need to go to the second one. But before that, you choose one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Now, we do the same thing. Add a second point. If you have time, you can as well add a third pointing phrase, but 2 could be enough. These, you pick one and then you add. Add a third pointing phrase.